Now let us see the elements of communication system. The basic elements of communication system are the receiver and the transmitter. That means the transmitter is the person, is the one who will be transmitting the signal, that is the information, and the receiver is the person who will be receiving the information. In the middle of this transmitter and the receiver, there will be a channel that will be passing the information. Now let us see the basic concepts involved in the elements of communication. Now here I have drawn the generalized basic elements of communication system. In this generalized block diagram, you will be observing three parts or three essential basic elements such as the information source, transmitter and the receiver. Now this information source might be any source which is transmitting or sending the information, right? It might be either sound, music or any documents, anything in written form or anything which is known as a information, that means useful data. Now this is the source. Now the source will be at one place and the receiver will be at some other place. Now the medium or the middle thing which is between the source and the receiver is known as channel, and this is known as channel because it is acting as a intermediate between receiver and the transmitter. Now we will be seeing this transmitter is the block diagram. Here you will be observing this transmitter, right? This transmitter, what it will do is, we can't directly send what the information we are speaking to the receiver. So if you observe in net, that means in internet, you will be seeing that first whatever information you are sending, it will be turned into some signals, right? Like that, if you will be observing that 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, like that, some signals it is converted, and later again it is converted into the known language, that is what this transmitter is sending. If at all this transmitter is sending in English language, this will be converted into some signals that is understood by that particular channel. Either it can be binary system, decimal system or any channel what here we are using that channel, okay. And here again this channel, here we are using some signals, right. This is converted again into English language and then it is passed to the receiver, because receiver can't understand these signals because he doesn't know that. Again this signals is converted into English language and again this language information is passed to the receiver. Hope you understood that why this conversion is changed. That means, ma'am, you can ask one question that, ma'am, why to change like this? We can directly send this English language to English language only, right? That question you can get. But what is the reason behind this conversion is in order to protect the information. That means, for suppose you will be sending some passwords for bank accounts, phone numbers, right, confidential messages, information that should not be revealed to other person. If at all there is no conversion between these transmitter and receiver, there is a chance for hacking the message. You will be seeing that, right, virus attacking to internet. It is because of taking the information. So these signals will protect. That means no common person or a common man cannot understand the signal language, right, obviously. So this is the major role played in the transformation of information, and this is acting as a channel or intermediary between the transmitter and the receiver. Now let us see this. For example, if you are passing a non-voice, that means just your, for example, take in telephones, you will be passing the voice, that means your sound, right? That is known as non-electrical signal. Your sound is known as non-electrical signal that is converted into electrical signal by the help of the transducer. After the information source block, you will be having the transducer, and this transducer will convert this electrical signal into, this non-electrical signal into electrical signal. and thus after converting the message, it is passed to the transmitter, and this transmitter acts as a channel, and the transmitted signal is passed to the channel, and again it is converted into the receiver signal, and then it is passed to the receiver. And now let us see here, during the passage of information from source to the receiver, you will be adding some noise, because there will be some noises generated in the channel, and those noises which are added to the information will be passed to the user or the receiver. So, receiver finds it very difficult in order to find out the information what he wants. For example, for this we can see the radios, right? If at all you won't keep it exactly at exact degrees of modulation or amplitude, you will be getting the giz sound in radios, right? And noises will be added to the signals. That is known as noise added to the signals. Now, in this chapter, we will be learning about how to modulate and how to decrease the noise in the channel. Now, here we are seeing two types of conversion of communication, that is point to point and broadcast. Point to point means there will be only a single transmitter and a single receiver. That means, for example, let us take telephones, right? You will be calling to some other person, and you are the transmitter and the other person is receiver. Now, here we have seen the point to point communication. In the point to point communication, there is a single transmitter and a single receiver. For example, the best example is telephone call. And now, while coming to broadcast, this is the second type of general communication system. And this general communication system, the broadcast, here the transmitter is single person or a single media, and while coming to the receiver, there will be number of persons. That means, for example, let us take TV or radio. TV is a transmitter, it is passing some information, and now the receivers are huge number, right? So many people can see the information from the TV or radio. So, this type of information or communication system platform is known as broadcast platform. And now we will be seeing the basic elements and how they are terminologized in communication system. Let us see the basic terminology of electronic communication system. In this, first we will be seeing the terms such as receiver, transmitter, and what is noise and what is amplification and all. Now, here first we goes with the transducer. What do you mean by a transducer? A transducer is a system which converts one form of energy into other form. That means, if at all let us take pressure, temperature and displacement and force, all these are some type of energies, right? And these are converted into electrical form, and this is known as transducer. That means conversion of one form of energy to other. Mainly the conversion takes place between the temperature, pressure and electrical energy. That means all the energies are ultimately converted into electrical energy in this transducer. That is, for example, let us take some non-electrical signals such as voice. Voice consists of pressure and sound, right? And these are converted into electrical signals. Thus, the conversion takes place between non-electrical to electrical, and this is known as transducer. Now, let us see the signal. What do you mean by a signal? Whenever the converted form of signal, that is converted information, if at all the source is providing some information, right, that information is converted into electrical form, and those conversion of information into electrical form has two types, that is analog and digital form. That is, analog means it is a sine wave function based upon the time. That means, for example, I hope you know the sine wave function with time. That is, I am showing here the basic graph diagram. The sine wave generated with respect to the time is known as analog signal. Here we will be taking the amplitude and on x-axis we will be considering the time, and this one sine wave consists of two parts, that is you will be observing here. This is with respect to time. This is the highest amplitude and this is the lowest amplitude, and the distance between the origin to the one full cycle of sine wave is known as time period. These are the basic signals that are known as analog signals or sine wave function signals. Now we will be seeing the other form of information that is converted by the transmitter is digital form. What do you mean by digital form? Digital form is nothing but discrete signals. For example, let us take step signals. I hope you know the step signal. That means it is not a continuous process. It is discontinuous. That means see, here like this one step and next step and next here like this. That means it is not a continuous. See, here there is a breaks in the signal. So this type of signals are known as discontinuous signals. Now there are another types of signal systems also, such as binary conversion, that is decimals are converted into binary form, that is only 0 and 1 are the information processing systems in binary system. And while coming to ASCII code and binary conversion decimals, we will be having some, here ASCII means American Standard Conversions, that is we will be using some standards which are followed by the Americans also, and we will be using octadecimal, hexadecimal, and all these are the conversion process in which we will be using in the transducer in order to convert the information into some signal or analog or discrete or binary or any form. Now we will be seeing now another word, that is noise. What do you mean by noise? The noise is the unwanted signal generated during the transfer of information during the process. This unwanted signal will create some disturbances and will result in the complexity of exchanging of information, and the receiver finds very difficult in order to receive this information from this complicated information because of these noises. And while coming to transmitter, I said previously the transmitter converts the information source into transmitter signal. Receiver is the receiver who receives the transmitted signal in the electrical signal form. Now attenuation. What do you mean by attenuation? Attenuation means it is a loss of strength of signal. That is, for example, let us take one information is passed from the transmitter to the receiver. In the middle, you will be seeing the strength of the signal will be lost because of all these disturbances, that is noise, unwanted signals, unwanted amplitude, frequency, distortions will leads to the attenuation of the signal, that is the strength of the signal is decreased some point.